sessions either in advance or on the day of the fair. And during the fair, you will be able to meet with students based on your schedule and who has signed up. And you'll also be able to interact with them via video, audio, and text-based chat. And then with Brazen and Career Eco, they operate, these two operate pretty similar to each other, but a little different from the Career Fair and Handshake. And so in Brazen and Career Eco, employers can engage with students via video, audio, and text-based chat. You'll have a booth where students will enter and they can get in line to wait in a virtual line, and students will be queued up whenever the recruiter is ready to speak with them. And again, in both of these platforms, you have the video, audio, and text-based chat. With Brazen, you'll be able to see all of your interactions that you've had in a history tab that can be accessed for 6 months after the fair. And you can see your text chat, student resumes, and follow-up notes there as well. And then also in Career Eco, employers will be able to have access to any candidates who have registered for the event in general. And you'll be able to like those candidates, and they can also like you and show interest in advance of the fair.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Selena. I just want to jump in and just kind of pause there. You know, as we navigate this virtual environment, you know, there are those three platforms are utilized by different career centers or career fairs. So on our website, and we'll follow up with this too, we continue to gather the platforms that each center is utilizing so that you can prepare. So for example, you know, with the College of Natural Sciences, they're hosting their technology fair at the end of September, and they're going to be using Handshake, the Handshake platform for that fair. The Macombs College of Business Expo will be hosted the first or second week of September, and they'll be using Brazen. Engineering Career Fair, also the second week of September, will be utilizing Career Eco. So as we gather that information, we want to share that, and we want to be able to provide those tips. What does it look like? So Selena mentioned that the Brazen and Career Eco platform are very similar in the sense of what you think of a typical career fair, where the student would show up the day of, engage, you all would build out a booth, you would share information, you would engage in that chat. But the Handshake option is different. You would build out a schedule in advance. Students would have to sign up in advance. So if you think about a regular in-person fair, you might be able to register 2 weeks before, just show up the day of. That's very different for the Handshake platform. So, you know, as Selena shares the information, she's also creating resources to help you be successful, because we know that you're going to be navigating various platforms. So we want to make sure that you're prepared. But I do just want to pause there again to see if there's any questions about the events and the fairs portion or the posting of position, because we know that employers who are joining us today are coming for the first time, maybe have never posted a job yet, or others are posting jobs and they want to learn more about career fairs. So we'll just take a second to allow you all to ask some questions or even post them in the chat.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not seeing any questions right now, but we'll keep watching out. So we'll just keep moving forward. And then if we have questions, we can pause. So then,
question, Megan, that just came in.
When, where are you offering trainings for the various? So actually, Selena will be leading a virtual webinar on career fair, a webinar on virtual career fairs this month, and we'll send out information about that. But that's just TBA. We're gonna, figure out our date and everything, and we'll reach out to y'all about that. So, and also, let's see, we have another question popping up here. Yes, we'll definitely send you a training invite. Everyone that came to this, and we'll share it broadly as we did our employer newsletter as well. Let's see, we have another question. And so another thing, that we have a UT Career Fair calendar on our website, and we're actually in the process of adding a column for each platform being used. So right now on our website, we'll add that link to the chat here in a little bit. You'll see all the UT career fairs, you'll see the contacts, you'll see links for employers. You'll want to go to those links for the most updated information on how to register. And you'll also see all the dates on that calendar. And then coming soon, we're going to have a section of the platforms being used. So that will be there soon. We're just double checking everyone's platforms. Oh, and Summer already added it. Thank you, Summer. Yes, and Deborah, you'll see on that calendar, it's outlined by the colleges that are hosting the events. So that'll be perfect for what you're looking for. And yes, and then the next question was just the platforms, and so that'll be there as well. And then our students being trained, we're also working, we have a whole career education team, and they're not present today in our office hours. However, we actually just had a meeting with them this morning about this. We're creating toolkits for students and employers to make sure everyone's super prepared.
Absolutely, Megan. I just also want to mention that we're also working closely with the career centers. So the directors meet monthly. We work with the employer-facing staff members. So we're having these conversations right now to make sure that we're able to share that information across campus as the students are engaging, because it's also very different for us. So that's a big priority for us too. Thank you for asking.
Great, and clarifying platforms for events and resume job postings. So, right now the primary virtual career fair platforms are Handshake, Brazen, and Career Eco. For other events, the primary tools that we're using on campus are Zoom and Microsoft Teams. And then when it comes to, and I'm seeing that also with employers, those seem like the two main platforms as well that we've heard so far. And then when it comes to job postings, that'll be in our online recruiting systems. So Hire You Texas, powered by Handshake, that's a campus-wide online recruiting system. Macombs, they use Simplicity. There's a few other colleges that use different platforms like Grad Leaders. But primarily, we have about, let's see, I think we have about 7 career service offices on Hire You Texas. Handshake is their primary posting board. And then the rest of our career service offices utilize Hire You Texas, but also their own specific board. We also have a job board webpage on our website, and it lists all the systems being used. And then let's see, we have another question here. So this question, so the Hire You Texas is our campus-wide recruiting system. So it's all colleges are using Hire You Texas. And then in addition, there's about 6 career service offices that have a college-specific board in addition to Hire You Texas. So hopefully that clarifies it. And we can always talk more about that too. If that's not clear, we can always set up a time to chat further.
Megan, I also,
yes.
I can share the list. So, so with Hire You Texas, powered by Handshake, I'll list colleges that are utilizing it, but we have the College of Education, the College of Liberal Arts, the College of Natural Sciences, the College of Pharmacy, Jackson School of Geosciences, the LBJ School of Public Affairs, Moody College of Communication, the School of Information. And so I'll post that in the chat. So that's about 63% of the student population that the colleges are utilizing this as their platform. Again, all students can access it. They're able to utilize it to find opportunities. And they also have the main resource for their colleges. They're able to access those opportunities too. So we love that we're able to provide that access to students. If you're looking at a certain industry and you're posting in this position, students are able to search and look for opportunities by industry, but also by skills or interest. And so there's various additional information on how to navigate utilizing Handshake to reach more students. But again, all students have access. I'm going to post the colleges that are utilizing this specifically. And then I'll also post the link to our website that shows if other colleges are using different job boards. You want to make sure that you post there also. So thank you for asking that question, that clarifying question, and we'll make sure that we add that to the chat.
Yes, and we'll also follow up after this office hours with all of these links, and just to recap the information we've shared. Also, Texas Career Engagement, we're here to help you. We're here to help you with collaborations for across campus events. So say you want to do an event and you want to engage business, engineering, liberal arts, and the iSchool. We can get everyone in the same Zoom meeting. We can brainstorm, we can talk through the logistics and really help you connect with a lot of people at once. And so just wanted to let you know that we are here to help you, coordinate campus-wide events and also promote campus-wide events. So even if you have an event you already have planned and you want to promote it, we're here to help with that as well. Also, employers have access to post events in Hire You Texas, powered by Handshake, and our moderation team approves those. And we're sharing a weekly email with all of our career service partners about the upcoming employer events posted in Hire You Texas, powered by Handshake. And then we're also, when we see an event that is really specific to one of our campus partners, recently I shared an LGBTQ plus event with our gender and sexuality office. So it's an example of when we see a targeted event, we're definitely sharing with other partners as well. Something really important to us is meeting students where they are and where they identify. And so we always want to be helping you connect to students in every way possible. I see a few questions. So definitely you can leverage us if you want to do a multi-school info session or general meeting. Yes, we are here to be your resource and help streamline that experience for you. All right. So some best practices, we just wanted to share a few things. I guess one thing really quick about events as well, we always recommend, especially when you're building your brand, if you're going to host an employer specific event, you'll want to engage in those larger UT events and programs and advertise your employer specific event at those so that you can really, invite students personally, maximize on advertising. You always want to have an active posting also when you have events, because that's really going to give students that action step, the reason to come. They're quite busy, and this semester is going to be even more different, managing their time with virtual learning and virtual recruiting. So having that action item, that job to apply for, really drives them to attend to events. You can also email students who have applied to your posting and say, hey, put a face to your resume, come meet us in person. So that's another way to really drive attendance to events. And if you have more advice outside of that, we'd also love to talk with you and share. So just some quick overall best practices. Early ID and pipeline recruiting is so important to build your brand with students. Some employers have leadership development programs that are hosted over winter break or summer break, where they engage freshmen and sophomores in workshops and leadership trainings and just get to know them and share their culture. Sometimes they have panels of alumni sharing their functions and their experience working at the company. And that's really great to get those students excited about you. It's also, your pipeline to interns. You'll meet some rock stars that you'll want to, reach back out to when they're juniors for those internships. And also, one thing we see sometimes at career fairs, young students are excited, they're eager. And they'll go to career fairs as a freshman and, oh, everyone I talked to just said they wanted juniors. They didn't have anything for me. So one kind of cool thing you can do is you could create just a simple one-sheeter for freshmen and sophomores and say, hey, our internships are for juniors, but look, we have this one pager we created and it's all about the skills and what we recommend for you to build your career path in our industry or in certain functions. We created this for you. So that's really just a really great way to meet them. And just a great way to build your brand. Also, engaging alumni is just great. Students feel like, hey, they went to UT too. They had my same major. They love working at the company. And they love, they feel like the people are approachable and they're excited to always connect with alum. And it's really actually a cool opportunity for alumni too. I feel like when they engage in recruiting, they get to sit at the table with leaders. So that's really a benefit for the alum at your company too, to engage with recruiting. Because I know it's hard sometimes when you're wearing your work hat and then your recruiting hat as well. Actually too, I wanna make sure I don't forget when it comes to early ID pipeline recruiting, Texas Career Engagement is launching a career experience program this October. I'll also include that in my follow-up email. And this is an amazing opportunity to connect with all classifications, but a lot of underclassmen and a diverse group of students, we've actually created a program where students are getting this virtual career experience. And it's really there to help students that might have lost their internship due to COVID this summer, or maybe couldn't land an internship this fall. So we'll have some career prep curriculum for them, but then we're also plugging in employers, and it's really per your capacity. So say you want to just be a mentor and do some informational phone interviews, or maybe you want to do mock interviews or a workshop on a specific skill, or even just be a part of the committee that reviews all the final presentations. We have multiple touch points, and employers can really pick and choose based on capacity. So I'll email more information about that, but I didn't want to forget because we're so excited about this new program.
And Megan, I'll just mention thank you. This is such a great opportunity. We're launching it as kind of looking at the future of work. So careers after COVID, new skills for a new economy. We just had a meeting with the department, the University Leadership Network, where we're seeing at least 200 students are interested in this. So the students are really interested in connecting with employers. So if you can sign up to offer your time, this is going to be a great way to connect, to build your pipeline and build a stronger relationship with the institution. So highly encourage you to do so.
Yes, yes. And we're also working, I was looking at the chat. So did you mention the University Leadership Network too? We're working really closely with them. So that's great. Awesome. And then, there's a lot of importance too when it comes to diversity recruiting and just making sure that that comes across as authentic to students, because word of mouth, again, is huge with students. And they want to feel like the company is not only, checking a box with diversity recruiting, but they actually show how the company values diversity. There's affinity groups, there's programming, maybe even community outreach that your company does. So just making sure when you're engaging in diversity recruiting, you're really telling that story. And you're also bringing reps on campus in person or virtual. For the fall, it'll be virtual, that showcase diversity at your company so students can see themselves in these roles as well. Also with advanced student org engagement, we always want to make sure programming is meaningful in that area as well. So always having an educational component when you're working with student orgs. A lot of employers are reaching out, and so we really just ask that employers always have an educational component. And that really means, not doing this info session, advertising kind of session. That's more for posting in the online recruiting systems, working with us and other schools. But it's more, hey, you're a real estate student org. We would love to present on a day life of real estate or a specific, important skill. So that's just an example of that. And then I'll let Melanie introduce herself and also talk a little bit about some advanced degree recruiting specific advice. All right, it looks like she's still having some sound issues, but just know that Melanie is part of our employer engagement team. If you have advanced degree hiring needs, you can always email Recruit UT, and we're always looping Melanie in. So we have joint calls. We actually had a joint call yesterday, someone that was focused on undergrad and advanced degree recruiting. So just know that, one example of what we do is that within our posting system, we're labeling advanced degree roles in STEM areas and in humanities areas. And then Mel and her team, they're actually using that to inform newsletters that go out to grad program coordinators. So helping amplify and promote these advanced degree opportunities in Higher U, Texas. So that's just one example. They also do amazing programming. They really love engaging alumni. They've done quant night. They've worked across campus with multiple colleges. So just know that that's an amazing resource that our office also has to help you reach across campus with those student populations.
I also think, I'll just mention too, our advanced degree and our PhD students, they have amazing skills when it comes to quantitative skills where they're able to really support your businesses and your organization. So if you're even just interested, how can, what are some problems that they can help solve? How can you create an experience so they can continue to gain, those experiences with your organization? We highly encourage you to contact us, contact Melanie, so she can more information on how to do that, why it's so important, why organizations need to be successful. So if this isn't something that you thought about before, I definitely encourage you to just let us know that you're interested, and Melanie will reach out to you. Right, Melanie? Just say yes.
Thumbs up. Yes. All right. And then now, just again, we wanted to let you know that coming soon, we'll have a virtual career fair platform webinar. And we'd love to hear from y'all in the chat, or you can unmute yourselves. What other topics you'd like to see covered in these kind of educational webinars that we're doing. And then just to let you know, we would love to have one-on-one meetings with you. We can talk about a custom recruiting strategy plan for your target.
Megan, one thing I did want to mention is just to provide some additional clarity around the job boards. So, you know, with the job boards, when we were, you know, originated in 2018, we wanted to be able to provide more access to students. So if you were just hiring for business majors before, then you might have only posted your position in the Recruit Macomb's job board. But what if a liberal arts student was interested in this position and had the skills to be successful? Because they weren't a part of the college, they wouldn't have been able to access that job board, right? Because these job boards, these career centers are doing an incredible job of serving that student population. So the goal of Hire U Texas is to expand that reach. So let's say you're only hiring engineers. Perfect. We're going to connect you with the College of Engineering, with their career center, so that you can post your position there. But then let's say you have another opportunity that the liberal arts students would be great for. Then post that in Hire U Texas. We're able to expand that reach across campus. Or let's say you were just trying to reach business students only, specific to that college, but at UT, economics is in liberal arts. So an economics student may not be able to access that job. So every student at UT has access to Hire U Texas powered by Handshake, and also to their college career center. 8 of the 15 colleges are utilizing Hire U Texas powered by Handshake as their exclusive platform. The other 7 have their specific job boards, but their students also have access. So as we're on a strategy call, if you say you want to expand it to all majors, but you also want to contact this one specific career board that's separate from Hire U Texas, then we're going to help introduce you to that college so that you can post there. So our goal is to, of course, expand that reach, but it can be confusing because there's more than one platform. So we can schedule a call after to explain this a little bit more, but every student does have access to Hire U Texas powered by Handshake and access to their own college career board if they're using something separate than Handshake.
Any other
These are good questions. This helps us also just better understand what our employers are wanting to know, how to navigate that, what that looks like. So we appreciate these additional questions and opportunities for us to clarify. We know what it means to navigate, you know, UT, and so it allows us to clarify that. So we appreciate it.
Definitely. We want to help you streamline this process in your experience. So, you know, having this campus-wide approach and also having those target contacts in colleges they're really critical to your recruiting and target needs. We want to make sure you have to connect you with the people, direct contacts to help you do that.
So of course, the first step, you know, you want to make sure that your position's posted. Sometimes we get on calls with employers and they're not sure why they're not getting any traction. It's like, well, let's get the position posted, right? So it can gain visibility. Students are navigating that space. We're also, you know, so how do we get the position posted? And then are you offering a virtual opportunity that you can share via the event? Can you participate in a career fair? Do you want to engage in a strategy session? We also have various signature events offer, you know, various speaker series. We engage with, you know, our different areas. What we didn't kind of mention was the different areas that we serve. So at Texas Career Engagement, we have our internships and career experiences arm. So let's say your position or your thought or your challenge, something that you're facing, doesn't fit cookie cutter into a job description, contact us. How can we help you create that experience? Maybe it's a project, maybe it's a micro internship, maybe it's just a different type of experience or project that we can share for students. Let us know. Our internships and career experiences director can help you flush that out, so that we can create that opportunity for students and share with them. We also have our director of strategic outcomes. We work with learning more about what's happening in the field. How can we share that information with students? How can we continue to educate employers and students about economic trends and forecasting? We're also looking at our career education team, who's focusing on educating our students, building out the resources, providing counseling and career advising to our students. And then of course our graduate and professional school team that Melanie is a part of, focus on serving that specific, our advanced degrees, our masters, our PhD, our postdoc. A lot of these students are developing an amazing skill set and decide that they don't want to go into academia, and that's okay. So how do we help them navigate the job search? How do we help them navigate what opportunities are available to them? So there's so much different work that we're doing, and we're learning as we're going too. So we're a new entity. We want to make sure that we're forward looking and that we're able to really understand what the employers are looking for, so we can get you all plugged in. There's so much opportunity. We want to hear from you all too.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining our office hours. We're going to stick around for a little bit here and just see if there's anyone who wants to be unmuted and ask questions. Also, we'll keep our eye on the chat. So just, thank you so much again for joining, and we'd love to have those one-on-one meetings with you as well. So please email us at recruitut at austin.utexas.edu, and we'll set up those phone chats or Zooms. And then also we'll follow up to this presentation with an email with resources as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stephanie, let us help you with that recruiting strategy. If we can help give you some ideas, we'd be happy to. So maybe while we're waiting, Megan, on the different strategy calls that you get, what are some of the most frequently asked questions? Maybe we can just share.
Yeah, definitely. So, just, hey, these are the skills I want. How can I really reach these students? And so we talk about, oh, actually, there's this minor or this certificate or this center. This could be a really good way to reach those students, or, how to meet student orgs, how to work with us, but also the college-specific employer relations contact as well. So not only participating in campus-wide events, but also being on the radar of your target colleges for their college-specific programming. So just, making sure I help them connect to everyone they really need to. Another thing that's really important is diversity. How can I connect with student veterans, students with disabilities, and that's another great way that we can help employers connect on campus in a meaningful way. Like I said earlier, we really want to meet students where they are and help employers do that too. We actually team up with career education to talk with those target groups and say, hey, what are your students really wanting and needing, and what's important to them when they want to do employer events? And then we take that back to the table with our employer partners and say, hey, this is what the students are looking for. Let's create something really meaningful and exciting for this population. So that's been some really great conversations as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, smaller brands and companies, how can I stick out? You know, how can I increase my applications? You know, and that's really getting involved in these larger UT events so your brand is amongst brands the students know, starting there. Being open to underclassmen, interns can be really great too. I mean, these students it's so competitive to get into UT. Many of them come out of high school with being a sophomore already. They've started a nonprofit or figured out an algorithm and create a website. So these students have skills already as freshmen and sophomores and drive. So being open to younger interns can be a really, give you a leg up. That can be really great. Early ID programming is so important, especially with first-gen students too, because they talk to their parents about employers and their parents feel more comfortable with their student moving across the country if they've been helped by them since they were freshmen. So that's another thing we talk about.
Yeah, the first generation student population and how we're gearing up to provide more resources and training for that, for them.
Definitely. And then also we have a fun list. So employers, when they can come to campus one day again, we can tell them where to get barbecue, where to find some cowboy boots, see good music. Sometimes the conversations go there. We used to be on campus together. Those are other fun things we can help with.
That's exciting.
So it looks like we don't have any more questions. Do you think we should just, oh yeah, you want to see that fun list? All right. Oh yes, I know. I hope we can use that soon. We miss seeing everyone in person. Well, I guess we will just sign off unless anyone wants to ask a quick question. You can always unmute yourselves. And we look forward to working with all of you and helping you connect across UT. So thank y'all again for being here.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Bye, everyone.